Europe's software names are seeing a second day of selling after the sector was caught in a sell-off driven by fears of AI disruption. Investors pointed to a recent update from AI startup Anthropic, which unveiled a new AI tool for its Claude Cowork agent that is designed to help in automating work across the likes of legal, marketing and data analysis, triggering concerns of disruption to the sector's growth model. And let's take a look at some of the action in pre-market software names. You can see this is the European space, now stateside Salesforce, Adobe, ServiceNow, Intuit all seemed lower, but by no means the big percentage swings that we saw yesterday. So it feels as though this sector is still trying to work out just how disruptive the Anthropic news was. And let's just get into the weeds on this. So what we saw again here, Anthropic's announcement was effectively that it had added new legal tools to its Cowork assistant. So it automates a whole bunch of legal drafting, research tasks. It had other plugins as well. The market was looking at what that meant for customer services, all sorts of research elsewhere. And if you look at the stocks that sell off effectively across the board, from PayPal, Expedia to Intuit to what we saw here at Pearson's, it was a whole bunch of firms that the market thought could be upended by the disruption. It was baby out with the bathwater type of territory. Don't forget, this is just the company disruption level. And earlier in the year in Davos, we heard from the IMF managing director warning about a tsunami coming to the jobs market. So I think there was a lot of stepping back yesterday just to try and work out how this could impact the workforce, how it could impact companies that have been charging margin for their data services, let alone whether this disruption could wipe out some of these industries, not just impact the margin story.
Yeah, and I think we've heard a lot about the potential impact, the oncoming impact on white-collar jobs and professional services, and this is perhaps a little taste of that, and the market sort of reacting accordingly. But if one voice can try to quell the ructions, it is that of Jensen Huang, and he has been at pains to say that the idea that AI will replace software and related tools is illogical. He said, whether you're human or robot, why would you reinvent tools when tools already exist? So I wonder if there is then...
That just does not make sense. With respect to one of the greatest minds on the planet...
Me? Oh, sorry, Jensen Huang.
You sorry. And Jensen Huang, yeah. I mean, you are one of the greatest minds in the studio. But apologies to the great man himself, but that just does not make sense. Let's just go through this again, just very simply. And this is how I have to do it, because I'm a very simple creature. If I create a new tool that replaces the need for the old tool, i.e., let's just say I create an internal combustion engine, which takes away the need for a horse, then the horse doesn't become ubiquitous in society, which was exactly what happened between 1870 and 1920 across advanced societies. So there will be a new tool, not an old tool. This Coworker Claude piece of kit on legal could potentially destroy the livelihoods of those companies and the lawyers themselves. But the point is the same. You said wipe out the industries, not just margins. Absolutely. But what it means, though, for the AI hyperscalers, for the likes of OpenAI, the likes of NVIDIA, is actually more serious. It's not just them sending one-way traffic down the pipe. If all these software players and other industries are some of the biggest buyers of the product, but what happens is what you said, and I'm going to go along this scenario, it wipes out industries, not just... Those companies will not be there. They will not be customers for OpenAI. They will not be customers for NVIDIA. So this becomes a very vicious doom loop. You put in the bug in the system which destroys other parts of the system originally. You want to. It's creative destruction. But the problem is, those people are the people that provide you with revenue. They will not be buying your product if their business model is destroyed. This is why it's actually far more dangerous for the hyperscalers, for OpenAI, and indeed for the likes of NVIDIA than appears on the surface.
Well, it depends where the disruption ends up to the point. And don't forget, the biggest customers for NVIDIA right now are the likes of Amazon, Google, Meta, some of the big hyperscalers. Amazon and Google are behind the investment too in Anthropic, so I think they're doing okay at this point and have their own technology. It is further down the line at this point, though, now as we look at the software space. So for me, where it gets interesting is what the software companies have been saying to us for ages. And don't forget, we have asked this question, are you going to be disrupted by AI? We've not been sitting back and just watching it. We've been asking the question. The response every time is that you need their software to tie together the technology. SAP CEO was telling us this in Davos, that fantastic innovations cropping up, but unless you have something to tie together to implement the technology into workflows, then it's not effective.
Why can't AI do that?
Well, that's the point. Eventually, can it? Can an AI native product just come in and tie everything together? And it's not necessary to have some of these proprietary systems that are locking clients in at very high expense. And that's the question we've been asking.
Or whether it's
is the lock-in model dead? And where does the disruption come from?
Or the next disruptor, which we haven't even mentioned in this conversation, which could be as disruptive, if not more so, which is quantum computing.